the last 10 episodes was really hard to watch.
Do you want a certificate of praise and accomplishment? I think you earned it.
No, I don't need it.
You're listening to The Juniper and Elle Show, where two friends chat dramas, movies, and whatever else we're checking out at the moment. Grab a tea or other beverage of choice and come hang out with us as we chat, laugh, and occasionally make sense. Hi, this is Juniper.
Hello, this is Elle.
Welcome to our pod. Today, we're going to do another twofer on Chinese dramas, C-dramas, and one is a new to us drama. Well, it's still new to me, Juniper, since I didn't really watch it. And then a quick wrap-up on a drama that we had done a initial pod on, which is Faded Heart, so it's been over a month, long time in coming. But did want to come back and revisit it now that at least Juniper has finished it. Elle has run into some hurdles that she can talk about. Why don't we start with the newish drama? Well, it's the older of the two dramas, actually, but newish to us.
Yeah, it's called Eat, Run, Love. Do you know the Chinese name? Because I don't know the Chinese name. But
oh, let me look it up. Yeah. Oh, it's literal. 吃饭跑步和恋爱. It's very literal.
Oh my goodness. It really is Eat, Run, Love. Okay. It stars Arthur Chen and
Sabrina Zhuang.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Basically, the story is about second chances in terms of a couple that met in college and then they break up and then 6 years later, they meet again. And at a very high level, the breakup was due to a misunderstanding. And so when you're watching this, the first half, when they're in college, they're like ultra sweet. Basically, the guy meets the girl. He falls in love at first sight. And through a series of coincidences, they find out they're really in sync. They're really meant to be. Everyone's saying, like, you guys have to be a couple. There's no reason you can't be together. Oh, and she's a year older than him. So she actually graduates a year before him. And so they actually do a long distance relationship. So as this long distance relationship is happening, his background is he came from very privileged money. He's also trying to build a sneaker company. And before her, he was always obsessed with sneakers. So he never thought about love until he met her.
Sorry. The typical Chinese boy. I love my sneakers and basketball and stuff and my wear, but oh, there's a girl too. Hoo-hoo. Sorry. I hope all the male audience, the one person who's male listening to this, don't be offended. Or be offended, and then you can let us know how offended you are.
Well, he's like good looking, right? All the girls like him, but he's like, I only care about my sneaker company. But she catches his eye. But her background is that she's from a poor background. She's paying off debts that are left from her family, or her dad who passed away. So she is very money conscious, also a bit money hungry, but due to desperation because of what's happened to her family. So when they meet, he's the, like you said, rich boy meeting the poor girl. So they're dating long distance. And then as this is happening, he runs into trouble with his father who wants the company back, and he falls into debt. His mother gets sick. And so he wants to, and then the father also threatened to hurt his girlfriend in the process. So he decides, the male lead decides on his own that he's going to break up with her because he wants to protect her from his father and from his situation with the debt that's incoming, which is in the millions of dollars. But when she comes back to confront him about it, she mistakenly thinks he cheated on her. So she goes off in a huff. She's angry. And so the breakup is due to a misunderstanding. And then when he tries to resume chasing her, she tells him that she's marrying this other guy. So in the 6 years they've been apart, he's under the notion that she's married. And then she's under the notion that he cheated on her. So there's the bitterness comes from her. But here's the part that's murky, which is when they meet again. So he finds out, oh my gosh, she's back. Like she's back in the same city that he is.
Mm-hmm.
She, as far as he knows, she's married. So I'm watching this on Viki, and all the comments are like, don't go after her. She's married. Leave her alone. Because he's still pining for her.
Yeah, that seems wrong.
Yes. She has a wedding ring on. He's still living in the same apartment that she picked 6 years ago with photos of them as a couple. Like, it's really weird. It's like he's living in a time warp where they were still together.
Time capsule.
Yeah, time capsule. But, she's obviously moved on, supposedly. Later on, you find out she didn't. She lied to him. So I persevered watching this.
Good for you.
I would say the first half when they're in college, it's so sweet. It's a little too sweet. I think one of the criticisms in this is that he does everything for her, which is true. He's
Protective?
very protective, very caring. He cares for her health because she never takes care of herself. She's like basically running her body to the ground, trying to earn money to pay off the debts. When it comes time, because she thought he cheated on her, so now she's a successful. I don't know what she works in. It's more like a private equity, I think, where they force companies to get into financing, and then somehow they get commissions, and that's how they make money.
I'm sorry. She works for a loan shark? Are you sure this is our heroine?
They call them securities.
Morally questionable business.
Yes, because he doesn't need financing. But she's like, in order for her to get a promotion to managing director, she has to get his shareholders to sign like some letter of intent to take on financing.
Hold on. Before you go on, I hope she gets out of that stupid, skunky business by the end.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, good.
At the very
You may go on now. Otherwise, we're stopping right here. There's all sorts of wrong in this story
There's
already.
all sorts of wrong because there's wrong on both sides, right? He's like still pining for her, even though as far as he knows, she's married. And then she's actively trying to take down his company. Like people were like, wait, is this her revenge? Which I think would have been more delicious to watch had it been that she really was coming back to take his company away from him. But then she's kind of like she gets soft-hearted. She's like, "Oh, I don't know if I should do this." And then I'm just like, if I had to encapsulate my feelings on this, it's like they're all muddling through due to like these half lies. There's always lying involved. Like he's lying to her, she's lying to him. She tells him she doesn't have feelings, but she still does. And the only saving grace are like the other characters in the show. So there's like a second CP, it's her best friend, and she has like a flirtation with her college professor, but they were never like romantic. And he's very, kept the boundaries there when they were in college. And then you fast forward, she has moved on. Because he basically didn't tell her that he liked her. And she had grand ambitions of like, I want to be successful and financially independent by the time I'm 35. And so she goes off, starts her own company, marries a guy, has a daughter. And so by the time they meet again, her husband had cheated on her. So now she meets the professor again. And there's this like heat, this flirtation. People are like, they're like so hot to watch. Like they're mature. And she knows what she wants. Like as soon as she found out the husband cheated on her, she just divorced him. There's no like, oh, do I love him? Oh, I need to keep him because of the daughter. Like, no, she's like, you're scum. I'm divorcing you. So when you watch the two couples with the second CP where there's heat, there's flirtation, there's maturity, and then you see the other one who like 6 years later, it's like they're still in college, they haven't matured, they're still like lying. Even when he's like, I have to tell you the truth, he never tells her the full truth, and people are like, you didn't tell her anything. Like, and then she keeps cutting him off. And then she even tells the friend's like, did he tell you? And she goes, I stopped him. I didn't want to hear it. And people are like, this is the dumbest thing ever.
They should not be together.
No.
Breaking up, whether it's due to a misunderstanding, was for the right reasons at the end of the day. And they really,
Yes.
This is now a tragedy in my books because, right, I'm assuming it's a so-called happy ending in that they got together. But really, it's two people who should not be together got together.
Yes. No, everyone, all the comments I was reading was like, they should not be together. Because you feel like he actually deserves more because she doesn't help him until I mentally made a note. Episode 21, she finally does something for him.
You're taking notes. You're like, I'm remembering this for revenge purposes. No, I'm just
Because
kidding.
you're like, she finally did something to help his company instead of trying to take him down. Like the one thing, and then even the third CP, like they're super cute, like they're like his friends and at work, and like normally you don't pay any attention to them, but they're like even the little bits you get, it's like the equivalent of a short drama, and like, oh, they're so sweet because she comes off as kind of bratty in the beginning, and at the end there's actually character growth with the bratty, privileged childhood best friend, the girl. So when you're watching the other two couples mature and then your main leads are such Debbie Downers, like every time they're on camera, you're like, oh, this is so
Worse than Fight for Love, huh? That one just you have no feels. You have to like pinch yourself, be like, is something sparking? But it's neutral territory.
they're nice to each other and fight for love. I like here she's so mean to him, and you're like, and you know it's funny because people are like, oh, he could do so much better because like I said, I mean, he really could, but he's hyper focused. Like she's the one, so he can't let go. And so one could argue, like with these second love types of shows, you know, the obsession or the obsessive part of it, is that romantic? I don't think it's
No.
romantic at all.
I mean,
like
and one real life example popped up just now of J-Lo and, you know, Ben Affleck, right? Second chances. Did it work out? No. And I could have told you that, right? Like we were talking about you said that this was in the trend of a long running line of second chance love stories, which was at least for a while popular in China, not so much now.
Like 10 years ago.
Right, but this is a recent example because this was made in this year, or at least released this year, earlier this year. And what did we say? I said, I don't think it appeals to me, and I don't think it appeals to you, right? Because the psychology just doesn't work if you're a healthy individual. A, it means you didn't move on from the past. B, regardless if it's a misunderstanding or not, the fact that something could break you up, right? That's not really insurmountable in some ways, right? If you had just communicated or tried to understand or confront each other even, some form of communication and working through, right? Therapy even. That means you couldn't be together. Something else down the road would have triggered something similar happening that soured the relationship. Like you're just not compatible. Right? Like people break up. See, now I'm so impassioned and yet I didn't even watch the show. I can't even speak. People break up for all sorts of big and small reasons. It does not have to be Romeo and Juliet proportions. I mean, if it was Romeo and Juliet proportions, it's more understandable. That's more of an insurmountable hurdle, right? But for real life breakups, it's over petty things or sometimes misunderstandings, sometimes real. Like people do cheat or have a roving mind, or I'm more interested in my sneaker hobbies than you, or my video games than you. And that's my priority. And if you're not okay with that, we should not be together. That's all fair. And I feel like this is one of those situations.
Yeah.
So why would you regroup?
I would say, okay, so First Frost was Second Chances. I thought that was done much better in terms of, because the obsessions, there was no obsessing in that one, in the sense of they wished each other well, but they were not, there was not this active way of like, I need to be back into your life and like, I need to do all these things. I feel like here, he's very much trying to be back in her life. And
yeah,
you know, a lot of times people are like they could have just done background checks on each other. They both have money to know is this person married? Like, what happened to this person? Like, if you really want it to know.
Scriptwriter does not allow.
No. And like the fact that, her promotion and, you know, it relies on her taking him down. And so I think it's not fun to watch. There's no romance in that sense. Like, so the ending, the ending was very fast, like in terms of they try to cram like a whole bunch of, and I mean, all three CPs got marriage proposals in this, and you're like, oh, they're really trying to ram it down in your mind, like, oh, this is a romance. It ends happily, but like, I felt nothing. At their wedding. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to feel happy for them, but I'm like, no, you guys are not meant for each other.
You would be the one standing up when if there was officiant saying, you know, does anyone have anything to say here before we, you know, like finalize the proceedings? You'd be like, yes, Your Honor, I have something to say.
Well, the running joke, at least on Vicky, was like, so the next time there's an economic crisis, he'll break up with her. Anytime it's like, oh, something bad's about to happen.
And then she'll be the one collecting on whatever he's owing.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I will say what I did enjoy. I think Arthur Chen's character is he's very watchable because he's very passionate in terms of his beliefs in terms of what he loves, right? He's very passionate about his company, about what he wants to build. He's very passionate, I guess, arguably about the girl that he likes. So I find him very watchable, even though the stupid plot lines are built to like kind of take him down. And oh yeah, and then there's like this old guy who's like the love rival. He's like chairman of some really big company. So like that's great. Like now you have this annoying love rival, but who doesn't even matter in the story. But he has to take him down. That guy's also trying to take his company down out of jealousy. And then so with her, I think the actress is a good actress on her own. I just don't think she is the type of character you would enjoy watching because she comes off a little hateful.
It's the character, not the actress. Is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah, the character. Sorry, like I think they build it up where they're like she has her reasons, like she has her. You have to empathize with her, therefore you want to be on her side of things. And it's interesting. I do see arguments where some people are really on her side. They're like, well, as far as she knows, he cheated on her, and that justifies all of her anger and bitterness. And then, the other side is like, he deserves better because he didn't actually cheat. He told her he didn't cheat. And so, I don't know. It's one of those shows where I don't know how I did it. I mean, I guess because I was like, it's not that long, 28 episodes. I can deal. But it was hard. The last 10 episodes was really hard to watch.
Do you want a certificate of praise and accomplishment? I think you earned it.
No, I don't need
It's not
it.
worth much, but kudos to you for your sacrifice. I hear you guys. I mean, for people who watch C-dramas or Asian dramas in general, it's just kind of like it's a slogfest half the time. When you're watching these things, you're like, oh my god, how much longer is this gonna go on for? So yeah, I mean, I know you and I need a mental break from the C-drama quagmire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, okay, before you give your rating, I'm going to ask a stupid question. So the title's called Eat, Run, Love. How much eating, running, and loving was there? Was it equal parts? It sounded like loving was maybe
there was a lot of
least.
running. There's a lot of running. Like I want to be like 40% of the time there's some running sequence.
Okay.
Running in the rain, running simultaneously in different cities. I think they actually did like a real run to promote this drama. Eating, they tried. Not that much eating. I think they try to cook each other home cooked meals. Definitely not much loving, and not until the last episode. Actually, at their wedding, with their vows, he actually says, in my life, I want to be able to eat with you, run with you, and love you. Like, paraphrasing. So the title comes from his wedding vows, actually.
Sounds like
if
a
I were
formula. Sounds like a formula for indigestion. Right? You eat and then you run and then maybe make some love. I mean, that's bad for your stomach, guys. Don't do those things in close proximity, okay?
Well, because he loves sneakers and running, like he's so awkward in the beginning with her. He didn't know how to ask her out. So his first way of asking her out was like, "Would you run with me?" So that was his his romantic way of asking her out. And then every time he saw her, he's like, "Would you run with me?" So people are like, "Oh God, is that his like pickup line?"
That would not work on me. I hate running. I will speed walk till Kingdom Come, but I will not. Hiking, sure. Swimming, love it. Bungee jumping, I'll even try that before running if I don't have to run. But I mean, really, the scientifically beneficial for your health title should have been, or his wedding vows should have been, what is it? Eat, nap, run, shower, love. Right? You want to shower before you love, because otherwise it's gross after the run. So.
Well, he proposed to her after they ran, and people were like, "Why would you propose when you're all sweaty and gross?"
Well, some people do get a high from ultra marathons, and if you're very competitive. But is she into running or just him? Because if she's not into it,
she learned to love it because of him.
Oh, so. Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. She was not a runner when they met. So
all right, sorry, cutting this short because what's your rating?
It's too long. 6.4.
Oh, ouch! That even hurt my heart.
A decisive 6.4. I really wanted to like it. I really did, because I was like, they were so cute in the beginning, and then just
what if it was the first half versus second half? Because you did say there's an inflection point, right? You said the college romance was nice. So if it was two separate dramas, eject the latter half and the bitterness.
Like a 7.2. It still had its problems, I would say. It was cute, but it was too forced. Like I said, all like the serendipitous meetings and the fact that they're like so in harmony and everyone's like, oh my God, you guys are meant to be. It was a little too much. It was almost idealistic. I feel like I'm not the target audience. It's for young people who don't know how love works, is how I would.
Sorry. Wow.
Surprise.
Insult everyone who's ever watched this and sort of liked it. Nice.
I don't mean it in a bad way. I think
I
it's
know,
like I
I
said,
know.
it's just an idealized version of what first love looks like, what true love looks like. Because again, their relationship was never built in a strong, robust way, right? They all
Yeah.
harbored secrets they couldn't share. And then even when they were in the same room ready to divulge it, they wouldn't share it. So you're like, there's so much miscommunication. This is not a healthy relationship, even though it's painted as salvageable.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when you, I'll say this and we can move on. My piece, just based on what you described the shows about their character backgrounds, that he's rich boy, she's like fight for survival, have like a me against the world chip on her shoulder, poor girl mentality. That alone, even on paper, doesn't work out in reality more than half the time. It's not that
Yeah.
there's a lack of love. There is such a thing as you're just incompatible from a life perspective. Your mentality to how things work, it's ingrained in you from childhood in some ways, right? Like his habits are different from hers. They're not going to agree on stuff or how they approach certain situations.
I basically would summarize that he's an optimist and she's a pessimist. And
Yeah.
that's it in a
They're
nutshell.
shaped by their backgrounds. And that's a fundamental disconnect sometimes in a relationship. So,
yes.
anyways, ready to move on to the show
Yeah.
you did not. You tried so hard to finish, but you couldn't because of how iQIYI cut you off early. So you were left hanging high and dry on Faded Hearts. So you never really progressed further from when we first talked about it, which was at episode 11. I think you made it to 13, you said.
I made it to 13. I saw the confession scene in 17. And then that was it. So I wanted to know what happened, but I didn't have time to look into it. So you'll have to let me know how it ends.
Yes, I'm about to give you spoilers galore and how I feel about it. It's my turn to rant. So, as you know, I love the show. At least up to episode 28, I would say that this would have been a great show. It took a slight dip or more than slight dip after that. And here's what happened. So they get together. There's a very hot love scene, by the way, which I thought was really well done, even though it's really, really brief. But then the story kind of pivots into ludicrous land is how I would describe it. That's not to say that the first, 2/3 of the show wasn't ludicrous. I mean, I think you and I would agree it was pretty ludicrous, right? People getting shot by arrows, falling off cliffs, nobody dies. Everyone punches everyone 40 times. They fall in love. It's okay. I think some of the comments I saw when I was watching it were like, nobody ever gets hurt in this show. Like, everyone gets hurt and just bounces right back. It's like, moving on. Just a flesh wound. Like Monty Python and the Holy Grail when the knight was like, yeah, he had his leg cut off. It was like, that's just a flesh wound. It's like, what are you going to do? Bleed on me? So what happens? I'll give you some rundowns of what happens. The show should have ended in episode 28 because our male lead gets buried alive, basically, after being stabbed by his best friend and his dad.
Oh.
Not his dad, but the best friend's dad. So the bad guy turns out to be his best friend and his dad. Remember I said in the first pod, there's like all forms of bad parenting and filial piety? That's the bad filial piety because the friend feels like his dad never got the life he deserved and the honors he deserved, and he was kind of crippled, right? He had a little limp because of his servitude to the emperor dad of our male lead. And because he's too nice of a guy. So he wanted to do things to kind of get things for his dad. But he was never trying to supposedly plot against his friend, the prince. But it came to a head. And basically they had to kill the prince or risk being toppled or found out, right? So dad, who was playing nice guy, the marquis dad, I should say, not the Emperor Dad. Emperor Dad gets killed, by the way, by his crazy wife.
Oh.
Who is actually in love with him, but because she realizes he never really loved her and was never going to make her son the emperor, she basically added preservation for her son and herself and her family. Oh, after her own prime minister dad gets killed by the prince in public as revenge for the death of his mom. Because the prime minister was the one who years ago stabbed his mom in the back when she threatened the king in a domestic argument. So after that, she was just, I don't care. I'm crazy. I'll do whatever I want since nobody cares about me. So she kills the emperor, frames the prince for it because, they basically, she and the marquis and the son join hands to lure the prince into the palace, who discovers his dad has been killed. They then kill him in a struggle and bury him in a grave. I mean, I just Googled this. I was like, how long can someone survive being buried underground? Even if it's shallow grave, fresh dirt, right? No more than 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, our female lead finds the grave very quickly, but it's probably more than 4 minutes. And it takes her, I would think, longer than 4 minutes to dig a guy out with her hands. I know this for a fact because I just finished watching Wednesday, season 2 on Netflix. And they were trying to dig her out of a grave too. And they're like, oh, I got to transform into a werewolf. Otherwise, this is not going to work with my bare hands. I'm pretty sure our female lead in, Fading Hearts did not transform into a werewolf. So the man should be brain dead or just dead. But he didn't die. He did go blind. But he didn't go blind because of lack of oxygen. He went blind from the treatment for his being buried alive. Anyways, it gets convoluted. So you can see, right, it really veers into ludicrous territory.
Yeah.
It was still interesting because you never knew what was going to happen. I would say it's the theme of the show, especially in the second half, is expect the unexpected. Because everyone was just like, kill, trick and stab and seam and all of that. Our male lead and female lead did survive and came back stronger to get vengeance on everyone and anyone. And it was very like an eye for an eye type of thing. I mean, you even saw that in the beginning, right? The first half when they were kind of pitted against each other. Like if you punch me 40 times, I punch you 40 times. But by the end of the show, when they joined hands, it was them against their enemies or whoever's around them. There's a whole, I would say, pivot of story focus to the foreign kingdom where the male lead's annoying sister got married to with the second male lead. Now, if I recall correctly, you liked the second male lead, at least you wanted to see what happened.
At least in the beginning.
Well, they roll him into a corner as the most despicable, annoying guy, but still weak, but he's not really that despicable until the very end. That's the thing. He just seems very, weak to me, which baffles the mind. How does he then overturn? He basically had a successful coup against his half-brother, the Crazy King. In the meantime, Crazy King has a romance with the sister. He literally falls in love with her and is really puppy dog with her. So everyone's shipping them, which I'm like, he's nice, but I don't like her. I still don't like her. She basically the sister has a realization at some point was I'm an idiot. Well, no shit.
Who does she actually love? Does she love anybody?
At the end, nobody, I think. I mean, she might have had some affection for the emperor brother, the half sibling who was crazy, but not really. And I still find her the most hateful character. And there's plenty of hateful characters in this show. I actually find her still the most hateful person because throughout the show, it's always about her and what she wants and needs.
Yes. She's a little spoiled, yeah.
Yeah, and when she turns against the second male lead, it's because it's well, you didn't appreciate anything I did for you. Well, shit, girl, he told you that. He's don't do this. You can go home still. I will not be able to repay this in that way for you, right? And it's nope, nope. Oh, how could you be so hateful? Oh, I'm going to kill you now. I'm going to make sure you never succeed. I'm oh, she's a angry bitch. So the story kind of devolved into that. And I felt like the main characters just became archetypes or stereotypes that were personification of vengeance and justice by the end, just going through the motions. I mean, they had cool moments, but the story was no longer about them. The story about them pretty much wrapped in the first 30 episodes, I would say. And it was more about everyone else. And I know people like the crazy princess and the crazy emperor as a couple, but as an individual character, I really hated the princess and wanted her to go away. I wish in some ways they followed the book, because here's the thing. The book was more boring. I read the book. The show was way more exciting in terms of how crazy the storyline was. It was nothing really like the book. But in the book, second male lead is a good guy. He is abused and trodden upon by the crazy emperor, who remains steadfastly bad till the end and uses the princess for her harebrained selfishness and jealousies of our female lead and everyone else. Like, everything that bad happens was because of the princess, and at the end she paid for it by being killed. Like, she sacrifices herself in some ways, but she knew it was kind of like penance for her stupidity and willfulness and like selfishness. And I was like, that is how it should have ended. She should have died.
Yeah.
But instead, you know what happens at the end of Fate of Hearts? We do have a happy ending, thank God, for a main lead. All is righted. The crazy empress kills herself because her son was actually a good seed, okay, or good egg, as you like to use egg analogies, if I recall correctly. Not a bad egg. And he righted the wrongs and did what was necessary to help his brother come back. And he was gonna all he asked for from Zheyuan, the male lead, was spare my mom. Let me leave with her. I'll take her away. To go, like, I guess, guard the imperial tombs for the penance. And she's like, you want me to do...
Wait, but she killed him.
Yeah, so she's like, I ain't doing that. Kill myself. Twirl, twirl, die. So...
So she killed him. Why would she want to protect his tomb?
So it's very twisted. I just shook my head a lot at the end, going, this is such Chinese bad parenting and Chinese cultural... I don't know if this is normal in real life. It's like, it's a personification of what people think of as norms in the culture, I think, in drama land. Because all the reasons for why people turned against each other was because, oh, I gotta protect my child. Right?
Yes.
Or I gotta make my life. I gotta be the filial son and make my dad happier. Well, your dad didn't ask for it, but you think that's what a dad should want from your son based on cultural values. So you're gonna do this, and then out of protection for you, the marquis turned bad to protect his son, and they were like ruthless, right? And I'm just like, was this necessary? Why did this... I mean, if everyone was like this in China, how does this nation even survive?
Well, it's almost like the kids aren't being listened to, and then also they're taught values that are not helpful in being critical thinkers and decision makers, and so it's almost like they're just thrown to the wolves, right? Like, you got to figure it out, but I'll do this for you because I think this is the right path. And it's, there's no input from the next generation. Like, is this what I want my life to be? I mean, I guess they kind of allude to that, to have alliance weddings for the nations. I mean, I guess that's alluded to, that they really don't have free will. And so they all go crazy because their free will's taken away and their pent up frustration. And yeah. Did it end the way you wanted it to end? Like, how it ended? Was it satisfying? Was it worth, like, the last 10 episodes of craziness?
Yes and no. It was a happy ending, which is what I wanted. It was a solidly happy. There was no like, oh, did they really have a happy ending? No, they were on a cliff, top in retirement for a few years, 2-3 years, I think, because the sister apparently took over the regency. But it was kind of hinted that he would let her be because he didn't want to be emperor, the male Li Suige. That's why. And the irony was that his dad basically did all these things to make him emperor, force his hand, because his mom was going to take him away. That's why the mom died. They got into a spat about that.
Oh.
She didn't like how the emperor turned into that person, that he was like, whatever, right? She's like, I'm taking my son away. He's not like that. He's a kind-hearted prince or a kid, normal kid, right? Court life is not for him. So that's how they got into the argument, and that's how she ended up dead. That's why, you know how you said, oh, I like... there's the kind of undertones of complexity, the dynamic between the emperor and his son. It's because of that. Like, he wants his son to hate him. He actually wanted his son to kill him to usurp the throne. He was like, kill me now. Let me tell you the truth. What happened? Now kill me. And the guy was like, I'm not going to do it. So it's all ludicrous, but at least that was dramatically intriguing to watch because of how it was acted and who it was about, right? after that was all done, after the whole buried alive, oh, I'm blind, oh, I can see again, it was just like, okay, let's go get revenge now. Check this box, check that box, And then it was like, I didn't need 10 episodes of Princess being Princess and blaming the second male lead for not loving her and then taking it out on him. Now, did he become a bad guy at the end? Yes, because he basically was also 恋爱脑. You know what I mean, right? Like loveful, going, hey, look, female lead, I've got power again. You can come back to me now. I love you. I totally regret the day I shot that arrow at you by accident.
That I tried to kill you?
But it was accidental. I think we all recognize it was an accident in some ways. He didn't expect her to get like shot, almost through the heart and down the fall off the cliff. Right? But it was a panic reaction and it was a reflection on his weaknesses. That said, he turned into this and I was like, how did you usurp the throne again? Like, how did you get easily, powerful out of nowhere? Because he was being suppressed, okay? And then suddenly lose to the so-called good guys again. This is stupid, right? So I think 5 episodes would have been sufficient to wrap that up. It would have been like, fine, it's a 32-episode show. It did not need to be 38 episodes. And with more emphasis on the main couple, and I really wanted the story about the princess to follow the original book, okay? I wanted her to die.
Yeah.
Not... Everyone else got their just desserts, I feel like, other than her. And she left me with a sour aftertaste in that her reasoning was never corrected by the show logic. In that her reasoning was like, I turned on you because you didn't do what I thought you would do, even though I said you don't owe me anything. I do this out of love. Oh, but you do owe me something, is really what she was saying, right? I did all these things for the second male lead, and he didn't repay me in any way I wanted him to. So therefore, I'm now going to have be lady vengeance against you. I'm like, wow, that is so unreasonable.
Yeah. So what rating would you give this now that you've...
Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay, we've been doing this on a lot of shows because it happens a lot with C-dramas, right? There's like a pivot point. Before the latter third of the show, I would have given this a 9.6. Okay,
wow,
it was that entertaining. Okay, ludicrousness and all, because it was well acted, good costumes, really great chemistry, entertaining as heck, right? With everything that came after, I give it an 8.9.
That's still pretty high.
It's high. It's still high. It's probably higher than it deserves.
But you enjoyed it. It was an 8.9, thrilling, 38 episodes.
Yeah, but that's a far cry from 9.6. Wouldn't you say? What shows have I given such high ratings to other than maybe Moonlight Mystique?
Yeah, that's true. But still, on its own, 8.9 is pretty impressive from you.
Yeah. So that's it.
Well, I'm glad you ended on a good show, and my 6.4. At least you got better enjoyment out of it than I mean, I don't know. I think I enjoyed it, but yeah, no, maybe not.
I think you enjoyed it not enjoying it, maybe. That's what happened. You mean Eat, Run, Love, right? Not Faded Hearts.
Yeah. Eat, Run, Love.
I mean, isn't that what they called hate watching?
Probably. Like I said, I think Arthur Chen, the male lead, he was very watchable in this. And the other couples made up for it. The weakest link for me was the character of the female lead. And by the time she came around, it was a little too rushed. And so everyone's like, oh, about time. But it was like, a giant fall from grace in terms of giving her grace to become the female lead you think he deserves. So.
And there should be a sequel where they break up again, as we predict. Next economic downturn.
No, but I don't want to watch that. Moved on from these people.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on from all of this. But yeah, I still recommend Faded Hearts. If you have a chance to finish it, finish it. I will not revisit Eat, Run, Love.
Nor should you.
Thank you. Thank you for validating my wise decisions. So, all right. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.